Hey guys, happy Monday. Yay, it's Monday. I think I stopped doing that. So I know you're wondering, why am I sitting here doing a video with no makeup on and these heavy ass bags under my eyes? So do me a favor, just ignore the bags under my eyes because that's what happens when we get old. And I'm not doing a makeup tutorial. And I just decided that if all these people can do makeup tutorials that start off with like no makeup on, I could certainly do a making a murderer video with no makeup on. So that's where we're at. And aren't you guys happy you get to see me with no makeup? Anyway, moving on. So I bet you're wondering, I thought I was only doing videos on Wednesdays. Why am I bringing you a video on a Monday? I'm going to tell you why, and that's a great question. Because today in Uncensored, I had posted the Stephen Avery Trial 1 and Stephen Avery Trial 2, which I honestly didn't look at it this morning, and I thought that I was posting the actual trial, which I was hoping it was. But what it turns out, it's all the newscasters. I'm not sure who put this together or who did it, but it's a really good film. And what it does is it pieces together all of the news reporters. Now, some of them I didn't particularly care for, but the ones that I saw, the ones that were on this reel, and I didn't see part 2 yet. I'm going to do part 2 tomorrow. But the ones I saw on the reel, what was most interesting about them is that they really did not think Stephen Avery was guilty. I was under the assumption that all these news reporters there thought they were guilty, but they didn't. And you'll see that in the video. And I'm going to post a link to both of them in the description box, just in case you're not an Uncensored. But if you are, then you don't have to worry about it because I posted it in there. And so a couple of things of the video really stood out at me. One of them is the funniest thing ever. I don't totally remember this. I honestly, truly don't. And maybe I never saw it. Maybe I never heard of it. But in this video, there is a part where I guess it was right after Brendan was found guilty. Barb goes storming out of the courtroom like a maniac, like really like any mother would, but goes storming out of the courtroom. And Carla, I don't really even remember where Carla popped out of, but Carla pops out. And Carla's trying to stop her. And Barb is so mad. She's like, get the fuck off me. I'm leaving. And she goes to get in the car and she starts to drive away. And Carla is halfway out of the car. And you would think she's going to kill Carla. I mean, literally, Carla is like hanging out of the car when she's trying to drive away. It was fucking hysterical. So I don't know where it is. I think it's like halfway through. It's probably around the 40-minute mark, maybe an hour mark. I didn't watch the entire thing. I watched the first hour and 10 minutes, so it's before that. But oh my God, it's funny as hell. So if you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. Sorry, I had a yawn. But the other thing that stood out, speaking of the Dassey family, I was really, really, really in awe over this because I did not give that much credence to it. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But according to the news reporters, Bobby Dassey may have single-handedly got both of them in prison and proved guilty by his one statement. And that statement of how Steve asked him to hide the body, even though he said, he may have been joking. You should have heard these newscasters say that they truly, truly believe that that is the reason why Stephen Avery was convicted. His own nephew probably sealed his fate. That's fucked up. And now I knew that it had some evidence, like some credit, but I didn't think that it was that bad. Now, why would this even matter in like the grand scheme of things? Why wasn't that jury sequestered? The judge decided, and Strang and Buting decided that the judge didn't need to be sequestered. How could you not sequester them? In a case like this, I don't get it. And their reasoning they gave was that it could help the defense. But after a press conference like Kratz gave, I'm sorry, it was a bad call by the defense. Again, it's hindsight 2020, but I'm sorry not to have that jury sequestered after Kratz is blabbing his mouth all over the place. Yeah, that jury should have been sequestered hands down. Like, what were you guys thinking? Speaking of Kratz, the fucking loser piece of shit that he is, Kratz had the balls. Now, we all remember this press conference, the one where he said Brendan's entire story to basically had Brendan convicted before Brendan even was arrested, like 24 hours. So we all know this. So Kratz, with this smug ass look on his face, I swear if he was in front of me, I would punch him in the fucking head. But with this smug ass look, Kratz turns around and says, I did not want to overstate the evidence in my opening statement. What? You just gave a press conference not too long before the trial that basically bloated every piece of evidence there was. Do you not think they saw it, Kratz? Stop thinking everybody is as fucking stupid as your girlfriend and all the other fucking guilters that worship you because you're an idiot. Not all of us are that dumb. Most of us can see right through you, Kratz. You're a fucking idiot. Now, the one analyst that did see right through him, and I keep looking over there because it's where my notes are because nobody ever writes anything anymore, but the guy's name, let me get to it, was Robert Bellin. He's a legal analyst, I believe, for Fox 5. And he kept talking about how Kratz kept building up a theme. He had no evidence to back it up, but everything was a story. Everything was a theme. How he had control of this. He had control of that. And how, Stephen controlled this and Stephen controlled that. Well, the theory behind it, according to this legal analyst, the theory behind it was that by Kratz doing that and making it all about control, it took away from the defense is analysis that the police were in control and the police were controlling the situation by planting evidence. That makes sense. So that was like the first time that I actually heard somebody explain it like that. So I thought that was pretty good. So I learned something from it. And in the beginning, so now I'm going to go back to like the beginning. I just kind of tied all that together. But in the beginning, Kratz and the prosecution had made this animated of Avery's yard. I don't remember this. There are going to be a couple things that I say tonight that I truly don't remember because it's been so long. But because my wonderful boyfriend has not even watched Making a Murderer yet, I'm going to end up watching it for like the 13th time next time I see him because he needs to watch it. So I didn't remember this animated thing, and the defense said that it was totally irrelevant, and I honestly don't even remember if it was allowed or not. And again, I know hindsight is 20/20, but I still stick with the fact that Strang made a lot of mistakes. Stupid mistakes that should have never been made. And I don't really want to bash him for it or say that, it's his fault because it's easy to look back. But when you're on such a high profile case, there are certain things that should have never been missed. Sequestered jury should have never been missed. Stuff with his opening statement should have never been missed. And why the newscaster, and they said this before trial even started, it was like 3 days before trial started, that they knew the defense's argument that stuff was planted. Why would the defense let anybody know their strategy? Even though I was in a custody case and not a criminal case, neither one of our lawyers discussed their strategy with anybody, let alone a public. I mean, ours wouldn't be in public, but you know what I mean. You don't do that. Why would their entire case be out in public to the point that a newscaster has it before it even reaches the courtroom? Mind-blowing. Don't get it. So if someone can explain it to me, I'm more than willing to listen. And speaking of newscasters, the other thing that I found really interesting is one of the news reporters, and it's so old already, but one of the newscasters, 10 years, but one of the newscasters happened to say that he had like a smirk on his face and he was saying how the key was allegedly found in the room. That could be taken so many different ways. I personally thought it was a very odd statement simply because we know it was found in the room. It wasn't allegedly found in the room. It was allegedly left in the room. It was allegedly not planted in the room, but it was found in the room. So that wasn't allegedly. So I kind of found that weird. That to me said that he believed Avery was innocent. and that the key was planted. And you just have to watch it, like the way he said it. It was just kind of weird. Like, honestly, it was just strange. And the other thing I learned about not Chicago, Wisconsin, which I think is twisted, honestly. So tell me what you guys think. But in a normal jury, like in the OJ trial, what they did was you have a jury of 16, a pool of 16, four of them are alternative jurors, 12 are like the real jurors. So in the state of Wisconsin, the way they do it is there's 16 jurors. The four alternate jurors you don't know till the end. So everybody's got to listen intently. Well, how the fuck do you know if everything was corrupt to begin with? Maybe they picked the four jurors that they thought were not going to give them the result they wanted. Like, I don't know how you can do that and not say that every single case in Wisconsin is corrupt. Because you just pick them randomly when the testimony ends, and that's what they say they do, but I just find that almost unconstitutional. You can't go into a trial, because what if that's the juror that claims he's innocent? You have one juror on the stand that, let's say you have 12 jurors, and four of them decide that he's not guilty, or anybody for that matter, that he's not guilty. Think about that. Okay, hey guys, I know which one's going to vote not guilty, and they become the four alternatives. Just, curiosity how that works. And believe me, I understand Wisconsin as a whole can't be that corrupt. I mean, it can be, but we're not going there. But it can't be that corrupt where every single jury is corrupt. I'd like to think not. I mean, honestly, I'd like to think that they get it right most of the time. But I just think that their whole system is weird. The system of not having to go to law school, not law school, don't have to take your bar exam to be a lawyer. You pick your jury alternatives after the fact. Like, none of it makes sense. It's just weird. Because in every jury, you're going to have a jury foreman who's going to report to somebody. So they're going to say, this one feels this way, this one feels that way. It's just it shows even more corruption than I thought. And that's honestly. And then Kratz, the fucking moron that he is, and maybe I'm wrong for this. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to sit here and claim that I'm 100% right, but I think it's pretty sad, is that Kratz said that in a case like this, like his gay voice, his Mike Tyson voice, that in a case like this, it's very hard to prove the why. The why meaning motive. Dick, it's a murder trial. Don't you need to prove motive in a murder trial? Or at least try to prove motive? I don't know. From what I know, most murder victims, there was a motive. Whether it be passion, whether it be just, joyride, whatever. There's usually a motive. And a prosecution or a defense tries to prove motive. Going back to OJ, think of OJ. Think of Casey trial. Think of Joe Bonet trial. Everybody tries to put together motive. So what the fuck are you talking about that in a case like this, there's no motive? Oh, you mean you're right. In a case where evidence is planted, you're right, there is no motive. Other than the police, and your motive was probably $36 million. And another thing I want to discuss is the RAV4. No, I'm not getting into any conspiracy theories here. But I want you guys to think about something. All right, the license plate, they showed the license plate. For some reason, I don't remember this, but they showed the license plate and it was wavy. Okay, I don't know if you guys ever try to crush a license plate. You can't do it. I don't care how fucking strong you are. I don't think my little blonde midget friend, Stephen Avery, yes, I call him blonde midget, but I've been doing that forever, could squeeze it so it's like an accordion. Give me a fucking break. That's not even like possible. He's not even that strong. I mean, he might be. I don't know personally, but it was so weird. And it was typical wavy. I can tell you that wavy is going to come from one of two things. One, the car accident that I discussed in the last video. Or two, probably an impound. And Stephen didn't impound it anywhere. He did reel it in. And if he did, let's just say he did and he hit it. Why the fuck would he lock it? If he's going to go out of his way to lock it, why would he put the license plate in a different car that's all wavy? It doesn't make sense. Kratz, not everybody is as dumb as your girlfriend. I mean, honestly, I cannot believe that the people of Wisconsin are not so overly insulted at what fools they are meant to look like. Honestly, I don't get it. And I am so sorry that I can't comprehend how you guys don't see it. I fought with guilters about this a lot. I mean, seriously, like a lot. I cannot for the life of me try to find a reason why Stephen Avery, Brendan Dassey, whoever the fuck it was besides the police, would bring her car onto the yard and hide it, take a wavy license plate and throw it in another car, thousands of cars away, 1,000 cars away. And how did that license plate get in the car? Because, let's use logic 101. You don't lock a car that's in salvage. What the fuck is somebody going to steal if it doesn't run? Most cars don't run if it's in salvage. So tell me, why did Stephen Avery feel the need to lock the RAV4, but he didn't lock the car that the license plate was thrown in? It doesn't make any sense. And maybe I had to see it again to put that together, because I don't think I actually put that together last time. I don't get how people don't see this. Guys, it is so blatantly obvious. Think about that. It's a yard. It's a salvage yard. You don't, I'm going to say it again because I'm going to dig it in your brains. You don't lock a car that is in salvage that you're trying to hide, yet you throw the license plate in another car, but you don't lock that one with the license plate. Oh my God. Guys, you can't be this fucking stupid. Honestly, it doesn't happen. And then last but not least, the dog. Did Manitowoc County not have animal control? Like, seriously? Because there were 100, and here's motive for when shit was planted. When you have 100 firemen and FBI agents and whoever was there against one German Shepherd, what the fuck do SWAT teams do when they go after meth labs that are surrounded by pit bulls? They call animal control. However, in the Avery case, they had to stay back for 24 to 48 hours because of this one dog. Are you fucking kidding me? That's not even logical. 100 firemen couldn't hold one dog? Really? That tells me that at that time, that 24 to 48 hours is when they were planning the evidence. There was no evidence at the time. So they had to make the evidence, and that 24 to 48 hours when nobody could get on site and nobody was there because Avery was gone already, there was nobody on site, that's when they went in, and that's when they planted everything. Guys, this is so rocket science 101. I am far from a brain surgeon. I am far from an MIT graduate. It's fucking common sense. It doesn't take you to be a rocket science to put this together. So I'm going to leave on this note because this video is way longer than I anticipated, but I'm going to leave on this note. So I was watching something in my quest to find the original trial, which is not around. I can't find it. And somebody posted it on Reddit. But in my quest, Steve Moore came on a video, which I will also leave a link in the description box. And he had said a quote that I want to sum this whole video up with. It is probably the greatest fucking quote I may have ever heard in this case. And it just sums it up so great. He said, "I have a heavy doubt in his guilt, not because the evidence doesn't point to it, but because I don't know that I could trust the evidence." Boom! What a fucking awesome quote, and so true. I've been fighting with guilters about this from day one. That, yeah, planted evidence, a good planted evidence, is going to make it look like they're guilty. That's what planted evidence does. Again, not rocket science. Dan O'Donnell is a fucking moron. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. All these people that think they know so much because they have these Harvard degrees or these big graduates are the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever known. And I will go head to head any day with them. Any day with Ken Kratz, any day with Nancy Grace, any day with Dan O'Donnell. Bring it on, bitch. I got this. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell so you get pop-ups of my 3 videos a week. And hopefully I'll have makeup on next time. And if nobody bashes me too much, maybe I'll do a video without makeup again, and that's it. So I really need to get some sleep so I wake up on time tomorrow. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, I will leave the links below. Check out my other videos and have a great night. Okay? Peace out.